Hey, thanks for tuning in. Sun has just moved into Sagittarius, and Saturn is already placed in Sagittarius. So there is a there is going to be a Sun Saturn conjunction very soon. At this point of time, there is about 15 degrees of difference between those two bodies, but still they'll come into conjunction at some point of time. But today's context or the video's context is Sun's position in the first decan of Sagittarius. So decan is a division of three divisions of a sign of 10 degrees each. So first decan of Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter, the lord of Sagittarius itself. So what does Sun and Sagittarius generally mean is enthusiasm, honesty, cheerfulness, and inclined spirituality, and it is all about exploring spirituality and greater truth. We might enjoy traveling as well, and we might try to get hold on to some good practices in our daily life, and it is all about being outspoken and extrovert, because Sagittarius is a flamboyant fire sign. It is the last of the fire sign, and fire signs represent upholding righteousness or dharma. And Sagittarius is the natural house of dharma, which is the natural ninth house. So, and this is the final frontier before we use our own techniques or our own labor in order to uphold righteousness. And this, as I said, this is the final frontier, because this is the final fire sign uh, before Sun makes its transition into Aries. So Sagittarius is the final fire sign of the zodiac. So anyway, how does Saturn kind of put boundaries to Sun? Is Saturn is always all about creating boundaries and limitations to whatever is happening around itself. So Saturn kind of puts a boundary to whatever Sun signifies when in Sagittarius. So whatever features that I just listed now will have a specific limit or a boundary, and we might not actually cross that particular boundaries. And boundaries are at times very good, and it is probably one of the most positive periods. I don't see Sun Saturn conjunction as a negative thing, because there is a lot of realization, there is a lot of exploration, and there is a lot of understanding involved whenever Sun kind of comes in conjunction with Saturn, and things will get better as and when Sun gets closer in terms of understanding. It could be harsh understanding, but still it will be a greater lesson for life, especially for those who are running through periods ruled by Sun, Saturn, or even Jupiter, because Jupiter is receiving both these planets, and Jupiter is placed in the sign of Scorpio, which is again a deeper sign of exploration and penetration. So, what does the first decan mean? Is the first decan of Sagittarius, as per Yavana Jataka, says that a man whose bow is drawn and whose speed is as violent as a horse. So it is almost like we are kind of ready to face whatever like injustice that we are facing in our daily life, and we are quite quick to react to the situations, uh, because as Yavana Jataka says, the bow is already drawn, and we are just waiting to let it go. So the analogy, like, it kind of fits in perfectly with the first decan of Sagittarius, because it also mentions that speed is as violent as horses. So we are kind of quick enough to react to the situations. That's what we have to kind of take it from there. What is being given in the classical text of Yavana Jataka. So it is said that he has the knowledge of chariots and weapons and bears the instruments for sacrifice. So sacrifice is because Ketu is the ruler of Mula Nakshatra, and Sun has just entered into Mula Nakshatra. So Mula Nakshatra is all about, Ketu is all about contraction and limitations, but um, when sun comes into Mula Nakshatra, Ketu signifies Mula Nakshatra generally signifies traditions and origins, and sun also kind of pushes us towards the traditionalism, honesty, spirituality, and kind of detached from material beings. So it is that kind of a situation where um, we kind of understand what we deserve, and we will be ready to give out whatever we don't deserve that stays with us. So that's the maturity level that we kind of attain during this period. And if you find that you have something against law that is happening with you, not generally law, but if there is any injustice or unfair activity that is happening against you, which is generally not considered to be within the human nature or human law or against humanity, you can surely raise your voice against such activities, and you will probably win it, because sun is transiting through the first decan of Sagittarius, ruled by Jupiter, which is also which is actually a planet of justice. So if and the first decan is ruled by Jupiter. Jupiter is the planet of justice. So this is probably the best situation where you can fight to uphold righteousness or unfairity against you or your peer members or your close mates, whoever it may be. So it is important to raise against anything that is happening in your own society, and you should just try and project it to the world as it is. Sun is a giant fireball, and Sagittarius is a fire sign. So there is a lot of extrovertism energy that is already in place. So it is important to use that energy to our betterment and also advantage. So yeah, so I just got an error in Zoom. So yes, so this is all about sun in Mula Nakshatra and sun in the first decan of Sagittarius. So I'll come back with the second decan, sun in second decan of Sagittarius, just before sun moves into the second decan of Sagittarius, which will be ruled by Mars. So thank you so much. I'll see you again.